tabmok99's 4-Minute.
Do you know what is a cabal? A cabal is a small group of people plotting together in secret, usually to overthrow the government. Now that's the perfect name for Cabal since he's a member of the Black Dragon organization. Except of course when he's proper police. You know, that guy's been given so many retcons it'll really make your head spin. Anyway, Cabal got his start when he survived Khan's invasion of Earth. Yeah, that's where he was scarred for life and he was injured so badly he needs an artificial respirator just so that he can keep breathing. But as a consequence of all that, he also got his super speed, so that's a nice little side effect. Now in the new timeline, that has never happened to him. He hasn't survived Khan's invasion of Earth yet, so there's really no reason for him to have super speed at all, but he's got it anyway. He also blames Sonya, thinking she's going to be the one who gives him his injuries, but that's fake news, folks, believe me. Anyway, shout out to Mexican Gladiator for getting 4 wins in a row last week using Cabal.
tabmok99's 4-Minute.
Baraka comes from a nomadic race of mutants called the Tarkatans. They're actually a hybrid of demon and mortal races. They're known to frequent the wastelands of Outworld, at least back when it was purple. Now Baraka may be known for his sharp blades, but not necessarily his sharp wit. In MK11, Baraka steps through a time portal and he gets a glimpse at his future. A future where the Tarkatans are wiped out. Kotal Khan committed genocide against them. And now Baraka's got a choice to make. Can he forgive Kotal Khan and learn to work with him so that the Tarkatans get a chance at the table, a chance to be seen as equals? Or should he go back to his evil ways? By the way, shout out to Mexican Gladiator for getting 10 wins in a row last week, mostly using Baraka.
tabmok99's 4-Minute.
Out of all the secret characters in Mortal Kombat, Noob Saibot's arc is probably the most interesting. He started out as a gag character, the name Noob Saibot being backwards for Tobias Boone. And some people ask me if the name Tabmok is backwards for anything. But I do know this. Because of his status, people speculated that he didn't have a shadow of a chance of ever becoming a real character. But he did. Future games would establish that he was a member of the Brotherhood of Shadow, forced to serve Quan Chi and Shinnok. It turns out that he was actually Bi-Han, the original Sub-Zero, and his death at the hands of Scorpion was part of Quan Chi's master design to turn him into a wraith. And for his part, Noob Saibot didn't seem to mind. The way he views it, it was kind of an upgrade. He has no flaws. Now, with Quan Chi and Shinnok out of the way, Noob Saibot is free to become his own man, or his own wraith. Anyway, shout out to VenomCarnage777 for getting 14 wins in a row last week using Noob Saibot.
tabmok99's 4-Minute.
In life, Noob Saibot was known as Bi-Han, aka the original Sub-Zero. A member of the Lin Kuei, he'd been hired by the forces of darkness to steal Shinnok's amulet, and had then been tasked with stealing it back. Having put Earthrealm in danger, it was his responsibility to set things right. Now, he had the opportunity to redeem his soul and avoid getting sent to the Netherrealm, but alas, it was not meant to be. Upon death, he became the shadowy wraith known as Noob Saibot, and it wasn't long before he got into it with Nightwolf, lost a fight, and got sent into the Soul NATO. After that, we didn't know what happened to him, but in MK11 we find out that he survived. Not only that, but he's become more powerful than ever. Speaking of powerful, shout out to VenomCarnage777 for getting 9 wins in a row last week using Noob Saibot.
tabmok99's 4-Minute.
Noob Saibot never was one to embrace technology. For whatever reason, he never did quite get the hang of it. I guess you could say he's a total noob. But at some point after he died, he had a change of heart. Like this time he encountered Smoke's cybernetic body, buried deep within Shao Kahn's fortress, where he'd been deactivated. And Noob thought to himself that if he could get Smoke up and running again, he'd make the perfect prototype for a cybernetic army of his own. An army of Saibots. And now you know how the Noob-Smoke partnership came to be. So, shoutouts to VenomCarnage777, who's definitely not a noob, for getting 26 wins in a row last week using Noob Saibot. Wow, 26 wins. That's actually more than enough to fight against Noob Saibot in MK2, for the Sega Genesis at least.
tabmok99's 4-Minute.
the Joker. Out of all the supervillains in Batman's rogues gallery, none strike fear into the heart of the citizens of Gotham City like the Joker. But who was he before becoming the Clown Prince of Crime? Every time they tell his backstory, it's a little bit different. They never tell it the same way twice. And that's okay. I mean, if he's going to have a past, he prefers it to be multiple choice. In some versions of the story, he was already a criminal mastermind before falling into that vat of acid. In other versions, he's kind of a loser, a stay-at-home son. Either way, by the time we're introduced to him, he's the man we know best as Batman's #1 arch-nemesis. And in this game, he's pretty badass. He may not have the rage to give him the super strength, but he can go toe-to-toe against any combatant. And you know, Luton Steak proved that last week when he got 16 wins in a row using the Joker.
tabmok99's 4 Minute.
When Cyberdyne Systems gets its network Skynet up and running, it doesn't take long for the system to become self-aware. It soon decides that humanity is the biggest threat, and it launches an all-out attack against every man, woman, and child on the planet. Its most ruthless killing machine, the Terminator, is the T-800. Don't call it a robot, it's actually a cybernetic organism, or cyborg. The leader of the human resistance is none other than John Connor. Rather than confront him directly, Skynet decides to send one of their cyborgs back into the past and terminate him before he ever reaches adulthood. Now the good news is that these Terminators can be turned for good. In fact, the most well-known Terminator is actually John Connor's protector and bodyguard. Speaking of good, shoutouts to Striker FGC for getting 16 wins in a row last week using Terminator. Well, I guess that terminates this lore minute. Back to you, Fatal Cade.
tabmok99's 4 Minute.
We've covered a lot of in-game lore here for Noob Saibot, but this time around we're going to do something different and go over behind-the-scenes lore. Now, when Noob Saibot was first introduced in Mortal Kombat 2 as a secret character, he was the most secret of the secret characters. Where Smoke and Jade would be seen dropping off before rounds to leave clues or peeking around behind trees in the living forest, Noob Saibot would have none of that. Also, Ed Boon specifically programmed his life bar in such a way that it would extract letters from the names of the other characters' life bars. That way, anyone going through the game's code to search for text would never stumble upon the name Noob Saibot. The only way to find out about him would be to earn him through the proper win streak. Speaking of win streaks, shout out to VenomCarnage777 for getting 11 wins in a row last week using Noob Saibot.
tabmok99's 4 Minute.
Detroit, 2043 AD. A city lies in ruins. It is a grim future, with lots of explosions and partial nudity. A future where the oppressive Omni Consumer Products Corporation has seized power. Only one man can stop it. No, one machine. When Officer Alex Murphy is set up by his own police department to be killed at the hands of drug lords, they bring him back as a cyborg. He is programmed with 3 prime directives: serve the public trust, protect the innocent, and uphold the law. They also snuck in a 4th one. Any attempt to arrest a senior OCP employee results in shutdown. He's finally able to get justice, though, when the OCP employee responsible for his condition gets fired. Well, I'd buy that for $1. So, congratulations to VenomCarnage777 for getting 12 wins in a row last week using Alex Murphy. RoboCop.
tabmok99's 4 Minute.
Geras is not human. He feels no pain. He can't be reasoned with. That's because Geras is an artificial construct, created without a soul to serve Kronika. He's had over 1 billion life cycles, and every time he's killed, he comes back stronger and smarter than ever. That's official lore. I'm not making that up. So, here's a fun fact. The name Geras is actually from Greek mythology, from the god of old age. Of course, in MK11, that's not who Geras is. He controls the sands of time. They should call him Sandy. Anyway, shoutouts to Why So Serious for getting 9 wins in a row last week using Geras.